akan tahu siapa yang akan mewakili Malaysia di MSC. Tapi sebelum tu mesti kita ada schedule untuk hari ini. So apa kata kita tengok jadual untuk perlawanan hari ini? Untuk match pembukaan, kita akan saksikan perlawanan Todak yang akan menentang King Empire Esports. Will King Empire Esports get their well-awaited sweet revenge, or will Todak proceed to meeting Selangor Red Giants tomorrow? Untuk match terakhir hari ini, kita akan saksikan RSG Malaysia yang akan bertemu dengan Team Hub. Dua-dua pasukan ni, satu menang akan jumpa Homeboys esok. Alright guys, hari ini adalah hari pertama playoffs. Maksud tu, semua perlawanan hari ini adalah satu perlawanan yang sangat-sangat penting. Sebab pasukan yang kalah akan balik rumah and end their journey di Mpl Malaysia musim ini. And the winning team will continue to the upper bracket tomorrow, meeting both Homeboys and Selangor Red Giants respectively. Alright, I'm sure everybody is just as hyped as we are. And with that, apa kata kita jemput kedua-dua pasukan ke atas pentas Mpl Malaysia, Todak and King Empire Esports.
Todak! The fallen Todak Empire has risen again, stronger and more powerful than ever. With formidable reinforcements, the Todak Vanguard DNA is re-energized and ready to dominate. They always say Todak is a whole different beast in the playoffs. The King of the Ocean is back to reclaim their throne. Let's cheer for Todak!
King Empire Esports.
They stormed into Mpl Malaysia with one goal: to conquer the league and form its kingdom. With the pride and ambition of a lion, they roared into the early season, dominating fiercely without mercy. Can they secure another victory and halt the iconic Todak? Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for King Empire Esports!
Sekarang, marilah kita menjemput jurulatih dan analis bersama Head of League Ops, Cedric, yang akan mengalas tugas untuk memastikan perlawanan sentiasa berjalan dengan adil dan lancar. Mari kita teruskan dengan fist bump di antara pasukan sebagai tanda profesionalism. Inilah gaya kita. Inilah semangat kesukanan kita. Kawan di luar gelanggang, lawan di Land of Dawn. And of course, to kickstart our day, mestilah kita ada special something untuk semua orang yang tengah tengok dekat rumah. So, with the Join the Fight code, you guys boleh claim this in-game untuk mendapatkan free in-game freebies. Alright, nampaknya MPSJ is actually pretty full for a Thursday sebab ramai orang dah tak sabar nak tengok siapa akan main seterusnya. Alright, and with that, let's show it to the casters. Teams, this is your moment. Game on.
Thank you, Rose. Welcome once again to the Mpl My Season 13, the playoffs, day number 1. My name is Mars Adine, and as well as Sunfrost here up on our screens. My name is Gideon Q. This is Terrence Icy Baby 1-2. On my right and on my left, it's going to be LaFell to keep you guys company for the rest of the English stream. Just to keep you guys up to date, we have a play-in stage. These next two best of fives will predetermine who will be making it on throughout the rest of the playoffs and who's going to fall early on in this tournament here at day number 1 with such high pressure stakes matches. Terrence, tell me what's going on through your mind.
Boy, I am genuinely worried about these two teams, to be honest here, because I actually like these two teams for the past 3 seasons now. To see one of these teams going to be eliminated right from the get-go, it kind of saddens me here, considering it's only Thursdays. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, I like King Empire, but Todak is the legend, but it's so frustrating, man.
LaFell, Todak, King Empire. Straight to the hard questions.
Honestly, I have no idea which one is going to win, because here's the thing. We got a hot patch on Tuesday, and now it's Thursday. They only have 2 days to prepare. So it becomes a situation where Todak has been very innovative throughout the regular season. Now, we do have to see, for this playoff, did they have enough time to come up with something new that King Empire Esports will not be able to overcome? So I feel like that's going to be the reason why they win or lose.
Whether they win or lose could be something that could change the landscape that we see it as today. But with considerable number of tournaments, and also, like you mentioned, the patch 1.8.79 highlights here. Here's a quick rundown for you up on screen, just to give you a little bit of an idea. Talk about major changes with me here. Personally, I think I don't feel like the Joy, the Amons aren't going to make that much of a difference.
I feel like it really depends on the team, because for a team like the Niners, which is unfortunately not in the playoffs, they will love this patch because Max is an amazing Amon player. I've heard that quite a few players have been practicing certain junglers, because some junglers, they just need level 4. And this 2 minutes buff in the jungle does make it possible for you to get level 4 without interruption after 2 minutes. Yes, you're going to have some interruptions, but it does depend what Malaysia has to show. Now, I do have to say, Fredrin, the energy eruption cooldown, I kind of feel like when you first look at it, it might be a big impact, but I feel like if you're using the cooldown build with Brute Force Breastplate as well as Oracle, it doesn't make that big of a difference. If you're using Fredrin with the front build, the tanky build, it does feel like a big difference.
What about you?
You know, to be honest, I don't think there's much changes when it comes to the meta here. Yeah, technically, quote-unquote, here, it's Moonton way of saying like, hey, tank junglers are getting out of control here, but I feel like the reason why junglers are suffering a lot is because they're constantly being invaded in the purple buff. 2 minutes is not enough time. I feel like at least 4 to 5 minutes, maybe until after the second turtle of invades, then maybe you would help a little bit more to kind of buff things out for assassins. But of course, that's pretty much it for the patches here. Let's talk about the standings from the regular season.
Yeah, like you mentioned, again, I think that personally with these new hotfix changes, it's going to affect the top 2 in current standings at the end of our regular season. It was Selangor Red Giants who took the #1 spot. Same goes for Homeboys, and that means they get a free buy-in to the playoffs. They don't have to play for today, but one of our 2 teams, either Todak or Todak King Empire, will face off against Selangor Red Giants, or is it going to be RSG MY up against Team Hawk? Whoever wins that moves on to face off the Homeboys.
We got to look at the standings here, because in the regular season, Todak is #3, King Empire Esports is #6. So there's quite a big gap. However, looking at other tournaments that Todak has been in, they are not looking all that great. While King Empire Esports has been very quiet, I've not seen any performances from them so far. So between these 2 teams, I would say King Empire Esports have more up their sleeve.
More up their sleeve? What about Hero Pool? Is that going to make a difference?
I think Todak is in a situation where they can actually experiment a little bit more here. The difference between Todak and King Empire is, like, personally, I feel like Todak is the type of team where if they are experimenting heroes, they're still able to play at a comfortable level, whereas King Empire, they need a lot more training and repetition before they actually pull something off. So I feel like Todak stands a very, very good shot, especially when it's, 2 days of adapting to the new patch. So I think Todak has a better chance of just taking this game.
I would say, like, sorry to interrupt, but if we're talking about the hero pool here, something that we do have to talk about is the draft for both teams, where King Empire, they still have a 100% win rate with the Benedetta, right? But no one has been letting it through. Same with Todak. They have this one hero that they've been winning so a lot on, which is Lu Yi. If Zion Senpai gets the Lu Yi, then Todak has a big chance, but I don't think he's going to get it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? When we're talking about Todak, they're one of those teams that just has a deep hero pool, deeply enrooted in the brand itself. If you're joining Todak, you're expected to have a wide hero pool to use against your opponents, in comparison to King Empire, who have subs to kind of fill in that gap. I mean, Todak, they never miss, right? Every single time they come to the playoffs, we expect them to try and look for an international standings. The previous standings haven't been that great. The format has changed over time, but this MSC in particular is extremely important. One of the biggest prize pools we've seen thus far.
I would say it's like their empire is crumbling, because before this, Todak never misses an M series.
Never missed.
They've already lost that one. And now it's about MSC. They've never missed MSC. If they miss MSC as well, then their streak is over.
To be fair,
To be fair, I think when it comes to situations like this here, you can't count Todak out, because it's when it comes to Todak, it's unexpected, right? Like even in the previous season as well, no one expected Todak to be eliminated in MPL, right? For even a chance of the grand finals. But now, I didn't expect them to make it top 3, to be honest. Like, I was expecting somewhere in the lower bottom here, but considering that they brought in Shizo, Rafflesia, Zion, Senpoi, Momo, Gary into the pool here, a lot of us were expecting that, hey, they might be doing okay, but they didn't really do too well in the early weeks. But somehow, with Chiku coming back as a substitution, it kind of worked out. But now, Chiku's not playing, so this is kind of a shocker for me.
Well, I mean, now that they have when you have Chico, you know that the macro decision making is going to be sharp, is going to be together. He likes to over communicate, but when we look at the heroes, right, this is the bigger problem. This is where I start thinking that for people like Shizo, and one of the few changes in the hotfixes were to Harathan as well as Roger, maybe that's going to stray away from their main strategies to play something a little bit more, map oriented. We'll see against King Empire.
Yeah, King Empire, we got Dado, Sasa, Smooth, Vitter, as well as Susujin, where this is also a surprise, where during the regular season, it's all about X-Win.
Yep.
It looks like X-Win is going to be the sub for this one, and Vitter is going to be the main lineup, where based on the things that I've heard is that Vitter, so far in scrims, have been much more aggressive, and in terms of the hero pool, it's a little bit wider. So it's going to be very interesting for King Empire Esports to bring out Vitter to go up against Toda.
That's the thing about X-Win, right? X-Win has been known for his very oppressive nature of playstyle of bringing Grok as well as Guinevere, but as well as Arlon as well. These three are the core heroes, but the problem with these three heroes is that these are three pocket strategy roamers, which is a little bit different from the usual meta playstyle, which is either Minotaur or maybe even the Matilda playstyle, which is kind of counteractive of his usual playstyle. So I guess that's the idea that King Empire is having, to just sub him over, but generally, after seeing this roster, I'm worried for both teams.
But before that, I do have to shout this out. Looks like Momo's family is in the crowd, where everyone is wishing them luck, and they even say like Momo and Yums will be in the grand finals. So they're looking for Toda to go up against SRG in the grand finals.
Ooh, that's a long time down the road, but it just goes to show how important this game is going to be. This is just the play-in stage, right? Now let's have a look at what Sasa. We messaged him on the side and we asked him whether or not he has any other dreams besides MSC. And all he had to say was he just wants to meet Ronaldo. That's just the bottom line.
I do have to say, I don't think he made this emoji. I feel like this is created by someone from the MPL.
I can't imagine him doing something like that at all.
Sasa's too cool for that.
That or he's posting up stickers that he really shouldn't be. One or the other. One or the other. Can't trust these boys. Very, very naughty, as they say, as we jump into the drafting phase of our very first best of 5 here at the play-ins. Let's see which one of these teams is going to get an early advantage once we figure out who's going to be on blue and who is going to be on red. Is everybody ready for this one? Let's jump right into the drafting phase.
I'm sorry, Gideon, but that is a very, very sick Benedetta AU.
Oh yeah, that's very
right?
cool.
That was so cool. Like, this wasn't here in the regular season. Now it's like we bring something new every single time in playoffs, right?
Hey, I just wish it wasn't part of my contract to always use an MPL skin whenever I get the opportunity. That's also another thing I would like not to be in my contract, but hey, we all manage. Now, KGE going to be on the blue side, up against Todak on the red side. The draft has already started, and I think this is what we were expecting to see.
Definitely. Looking at KGE banning out Harif as well as Louis, this is like priority heroes, because talking to the players, even though Harif has been nerfed, is still a beast in the gold lane. Sure, in the mid and later stages of the game, it's easier to burst down the Harif, but the laning phase is still so strong. Like, even
Change the wrong ability numbers, personally.
Yeah, no, I do agree. It's like, you make it so that Harif is less tanky, but honestly, at that point, Harif kind of doesn't care. For Toda banning out the Novaria as well as the Benedetta, and before we even get to the first pick, 2 things to shout out. Carmilla getting banned out here by KGE is actually a very crucial thing. Means they want to clump up. And number 2, internationally, in most tournaments, whoever gets the first pick, which is the blue side, apparently has a higher win percentage, where in the Philippines, they abuse getting the Frederick first pick. So it's going to be interesting for Malaysia, who is the first pick. What is our priority?
Yeah, personally, I feel like when it comes to hotfixes as well, Chips is one of those heroes that kind of got released. There are a lot of teams who hit or miss with that particular hero, but with this recent change, it makes Chips so much more valuable in a sense where when you pull up a shortcut, boom, instantly you get like a free old Faramis out in this regard. So right now, obviously, KGE is going to be picking it here. Like, seeing this Carmilla ban is good for me, because I know for a fact that Carmilla is a great way to deal with shortcut, just because it has a delayed response with the ultimate. So if Chips comes into shortcut, drop and Carmilla out, anybody who passed through it will immediately get linked up, and you are going to get like a wombo combo, just completely wiping whoever who goes through the portal.
Personally, I just like to get the free quote-unquote heart guard when you walk out of the shortcut.
Oh, yeah,
now,
right now,
It's
right?
you can't- yeah, dude, it's great. It means that I can walk out for free and not receive that much damage.
It's 1,000 shield, right? If I'm not
It's
mistaken.
almost the size of a heart guard.
It's
almost
crazy.
the size of the heart guard.
crazy.
We get the Arlet. We also get the Fredrin. Fredrin has been high priority ban, so I'm surprised that they're straying away from the gold lane here. I would have expected maybe even a Moskov, which we've been seeing a lot. MAL, SPS, MPL,
Yeah.
PH, Grand Finals as well.
I
All of the
feel,
above.
I feel like at this point they're sizing each other up
Yep.
to see who's gonna take what, because the S tier picks right now is the Natan as well as the Moskov. So I kind of feel like they just want to see what do they want to prioritize. However, with Todak able to get one and ban out the other, I feel like they're in a advantage here.
Okay, let me bounce you the question. Now that we see Vexana on blue side from KGE, are we expecting Valentina in response just in case as a deterrent at the very least for KGE's upcoming picks?
I feel like you don't have to pick up the Valentina just yet because there's still a lot of heroes in the mid. One notable one is Faramis as well, where Faramis going up against Vexana is 50-50 a bit, but they picked up the Minotaur here, so they're opening up. They're not really worried about getting this S-tier marksmen then.
I'm really surprised they actually opted to go for the Minotaur. Yes, it's a great way to actually deal with the shortcut if Chips comes in, but the problem with it is that you have to anticipate where this Chips is going to be coming from, because you won't know exactly Chips is going to be coming from which angle until you check every single corner, which is very difficult to do as a Minotaur. But if you play an Ube strategy which I think Tora is going to be going for, that is doable. But again, back to your point here, you brought up the Faramis here, which is something that I'm very surprised that Tora didn't go for, because of the fact that it's a great way to deal with the shortcut combo.
I mean, they can also just figure out a composition that works really well 3 and 2, right? Have 3 players that really strong synergistically together, the other 2 a little bit more independent. That way you can cover more of the map without having to put yourself in danger. That's my line of thought here, right? Because I'm seeing the Yuzong ban. I'm also seeing Lilia ban coming in from the side of KGE as well. So they are worried about being able to maintain control over mid. And finally, we do get to see a gold lane ban in that Natan after the Harith.
They have to ban Moskov.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they're trying to force KGE to ban it out. No. It looks like they're banning out the Faramis, the one that we have been talking about, where Faramis is a good counter here. So now, again, still, Valentina is still up. One thing that I do have to say, because of the patch changes in regards to how the jungle works now, Baras usually wants to invade the jungle quite early.
Yep.
2 minutes, 4 minutes, that's prime time for Boxia to go in. I do want to see what's going to be the different maker here. Like, are they going to invade in the opposite direction of wherever this Fredrin is going to be? If that's the case, then this is going to be on Chips. Chips has to be the one to inform which side of the jungle is still available.
Okay. It's not just Chip. At least for KGE, they're throwing a wide net into the ocean, right, to find the vulnerabilities. So if Chip doesn't find the angle, at least their side lane pressure is able to create those opportunities suitable for Chip to set up this gank or invade from Boxia's side. Now, Torak, they have to answer a couple of questions. Number one, how badly do they want to control what side of the map? Whether it be gold or whether it would be EXP, most likely it's going to be in the gold lane direction. So now that you have Minotaur, you can't just have a baby.
No, they need the
Moskov.
mage. They need the mage right now. Like, this is going to be an Arlet XP for sure, but I feel like, based from Todak, when it comes to mage, I think going in for either the... Oh my god, this is so tough. Like, what's a good mage? Lunox isn't too bad. Farsa... I'm not a big fan against Farsa against Baxia as well as Roger. Like, you are going to get dived here, but Yves is a pretty good one. You know, it kind of slows down the tempo for Baxia and Damos, which lacks mobility when they start the fight.
Well, I think more importantly so, at least they created a decent comp in that 3 and 2 format, right? Strongest together as 5, but if they play 3 and 2 format, they have enough enablers, enough people to peel their opponents to make sure that their cores, Moskov and Yves, walk away for free at most. So I don't think it's a bad idea.
Honestly, looking at Toda, I feel like the strongest that they will be is the second turtle, because at the second turtle they can go 5 men there, where the Moskov with the Spear of Destruction can join the fight as well. And during that time, they should be having enough levels to secure a turtle. So I'm really looking at Toda to abuse the Spear of Destruction coming in from the Moskov on the second turtle. If they don't achieve that, then it's going to be on KGE then.
All right, walk me through this early. We heard about the mid game. What about late game if it ever gets there before we go into the Land of Dawn?
I would say late game is all Moskov. Moskov can carry you all the way to the late game. Much more reliable compared to the Roger.
Well, with that being said, it's time for us to jump in towards the Land of Dawn here once again. Welcome to the play-ins of Mpl My Season 13. It's KGE up against Todak. KGE on blue side, Todak on red.
That was hot, by the way. Looking at the opening,
Yeah, that was a very, very
clean.
sick overlay.
Very
here.
clean.
But I like how this Chips is just invading rather early as well. I was very surprised that Toda is not defending this, but because of this play coming from Vader, it is going to kind of slow down the rotations overall. You can see none of the Toda members here, especially the mid lane roamers, just ignoring him generally. But Momo, bottom lane, taking a little bit too much damage against Smooth here. Not a great sign, but Vader now going to be a little bit of an awkward situation. It's taking a little bit too much damage. Does have the passive to kind of regenerate later on, but Todak doesn't have the tools to actually commit to this fight. Susujin being called in right now. Looks like do they want to go for this, but seems like they will disengage. KGE seems to be winning on all fronts right now.
I mean, I would say they have the advantage coming in from draft because their gold laner as well as the XP has the capability of actually owning the lane to make sure that their counterpart aren't able to rotate as fast. So I kind of feel like this is a good sign, and we definitely see the extra damage going on to the Chips. It matters because I feel like King Empire, they really want to go for that camp because it does made it so that Gary gets the level 4 a little bit later. But because of the changes in jungle, they have to retreat.
It's pretty significant here. I think that at least for the side of KGE, they have multiple hold on, engagement in enemy territory.
Okay, top side here. Frederick getting me dived on as well. They've paused the toys, but Son Momo also very low. Not going to be able to provide the backup here as King Empire may be able to collapse on this as well. They've lost the Frederick. Momo is going to be left all alone here. He doesn't have his 4, and he's going to fall eventually. First blood in the hands of the Chips for King Empire.
Nicely done by King Empire. Well, looks like the damage reduction change definitely mattered for Gary there.
Yep, I mean, at this point, this is what King Empire has to do because this is what the Baxia wants to do. You want to go crazy early.
Oh no, Gary immediately caught out by the chain combo here. Rafflesia not able to retaliate against this. King Empire going to be grouping up, trying to invade on the Rose Purple buff here. It's past 2 minutes, so no more reduction for Todak. But who's going to get it as well? And Susujin steals it away, so no purple buff for Gary.
Lovely work so far by KGE. I'm liking what they're doing. They're stealing away camps even though the hot fixes have been put into place. Better yet, they're using their side lane pressure as a means to keep Todak on their toes constantly. But for the most part of it, it just boils down to whether or not Vitra shows himself on the map.
I would say this also shows that Smooth has been using his time very, very well. We've seen after the Beneda keeps getting banned out, he's been practicing this stance. But this time, I've never seen him being this oppressive. I've never seen him dominating the lane this much. And it's against Momo of all people.
I mean, they've done it before, right? And I think that's what we need to see from KGE's side. We have been seeing that their side laners have been the key for this team to give them that identity, and the other three need to supplement that. But I think for King Empire in a meta like now, with how the draft has been, it's designed around them.
Yeah, it is going to be a little bit difficult here. But again, right now, Todak, they are going to be forced to play behind here. I like how they're having Rafflesia babysit Shizo as a priority defense. But again, putting in this situation, being reactive here is going to be hurting them here because King Empire is dictating full tempo and going to be setting up Smooth to try and gank down towards the bottom lane. But again, it is going to be a slow game for now.
I mean, like right now, it is in King Empire's interest to actually control Shizo because again, the second turtle is going to be a big power spike for Toda. So if they can make sure that that doesn't happen, then King Empire will have a better lead in this game.
Okay, Vader now going to be pulled back here. He's getting zoned out. Finally pops the shortcut to try and keep himself alive. So he is going to be A-okay because of that shortcut. Todak not able to collapse on this. Rafflesia not in position to try and re-engage this. Still has the ult, still has the flicker. But Turtle going to be the priority. Vader going to be waiting up on his health. He gets his passive, so he's going to be regenerated for now. But Todak, are they going to try and buy time here? What do they do now?
I think for KGE Empire, the fact that they lost their shortcut allows Todak to actually take their time with this. They want to get to the later stages of the game. Let's drag this turtle out for as long as possible.
Yeah, right now it does look like Toda has priority here, and Gary is going on to Smooth.
Okay, here comes, pops the out here. You're going to be dropping the interruption. Yeah, big one, big Minon's rage. Here comes the real invasion as well. It is going to hurt them, and Moscow going to be joining the fight as well. KGE, they were caught off guard. Susujin will fall. Shizo gets the kill. A big catch from Todak on King Empire.
Well, for the most part of it, I think we need to take a moment here. Because after seeing KGE do so well, at the very least, Todak, they're playing their comp around the turtle fights exactly how we expected it to.
Yeah, like I said, this draft is all about the second turtle. But before that, it looks like they're going for this lane. Looks like they want to get this turtle as fast as they can.
Well, Zyme Boy going to be the POI right now. They dropped the shortcut as well to go in for a counter play to get one. But Todak will be able to back out for now. It's not exactly the greatest, but still, they get something out of it.
I would say that was a massive misplay because the minions aren't positioned well enough for them to actually contest for that objective. So I feel like they showed their face a little bit too much. They should have, after the victory there, control the lanes again and then think about getting an objective. I kind of feel like that was premature.
Okay, walk me through this, right? Because right now, all eyes are on Vitor for this early to mid-game eventually with the power of that shortcut. Should he be using it defensively like this? Or are we expecting King Empire to maintain this sort of pacing against Toda?
I feel like they have the right idea, which is they're trying to slow down Gary as much as they can because we have to remember the changes for the Fredrin is that the more levels you have, the shorter cooldown that you have on your energy eruption. So if you're able to delay that, then Toda is no longer going to win this neutral objective. So using the shortcut onto the Fredrin is good. However, the timing doesn't seem to be well thought out because it doesn't seem like the rest of the team is ready to collapse onto the Fredrin. So the idea is there, the execution isn't.
All right, let me expand on that a little bit more because I feel a lot of it just comes down to like how much time you have walking away from that mid lane. And I think as of right now, Vixana's doing a good job clearing, but not necessarily leaving the lane as quick.
Well, bottom lane, middle lane here, Todak finally kind of doing a little bit of check here, trying to see if there are any kind of response here. They don't really have an idea where Chips is. Top side as well, Sasa gonna get harassed here a little bit here, but Todak, they're grouping up as 5. This is exactly what they need to do to prevent being picked up apart. But at this point, is it actually worth it here? They're prioritizing the top side, but bottom lane Smooth is already shoved up towards the tier 2 already.
Honestly, I have no idea whether it's worth it. I'm leaning towards not worth it because against strong leaders.
Oh no, Weeder gonna be jumping from our back lines as well. Real Obliteration gonna be zoning them off. Weeder now trying his best stall to play here, but a turtle in the hands of Toda, and Gary with a big appraisal's wrath survives it all. King Empire, they have to back out. They will find Momo instead. Trade 1 for 1, but at the same time, Turtle in the hands of Todak.
I think, you know what? I'm doubling it down on this. I think KGE have the correct idea, and I think both you and me, LaFell, we both agreed on this. We weren't sure about that one because whether or not they were going to take that fight, completely separate story. This should be a nothing sandwich for now, but whoa, wait,
Okay,
hold on.
okay. I don't think they can fight this here. Todak will get a free tier 1 up top. Meanwhile, again, Todak playing this Ube strategy which is not hurting them a lot because Smooth is getting free farm all the way in the bottom lane throughout the past 2 to 3 minutes right now.
I think they're missing out on the main point of their composition, right? It doesn't matter whether they get Turtle or not. They need to get map pressure. So I'm surprised that, like, you know, they had Smooth on the side lane. They also have Vitor right next to him. I totally get that, but once you spot out for by the enemy Turtle side, you just send Vitor, right? Yeah. That tier 2 should not be there on the bottom side.
No, legit, I do agree. I kind of feel like King Empire, understanding that Toda, their strength is in the river, just play for the lanes, man.
Yo, what? Vitor just dive tier 2? He's gonna go commit on Momo. Instantly takes him out, pays with his prize, but again, under tier 2, Toda is splitting up the fight. They don't really want to commit together here. Gary committing onto Dato. They will find one, but it is gonna be a trade with Rafflesia as well. They will lose Gary from Sasa, and just like that, King Empire, they dissect Todak on all fronts here. Zyme left completely alone, not able to join the fight at all.
I mean, as we say it.
So, about the river there.
Right? No, like I say, it's like, your strength is in the lanes, so go to the lanes. The moment they go to the lane, they won big.
I swear. Somebody, their analysts are probably listening on the cast right now. It feels like every single move that we've mentioned, Todak or King Empire take it a step further, right? Just leaning into the strengths of their composition. This is what we like to see so far, but we haven't seen the major overlaps between the two, right? How are they going to struggle and find that position against each other? Because so far, it feels like the Spear of Destruction, whether it hits or whether it doesn't, really depends on its target rather than the position that it gets.
Right now, honestly, Shizo is not even a 3-item power spike. Shizo needs 4 because 3 main damage items and 1 defensive one. Whether it be the Wind of Nature or Immortality, kind of doesn't matter at this point. He just needs 1 extra defensive item, and this game will go over to Toda because King Empire have 3,000 gold lead, but Toda is still able to keep up with the pace because their strength is around the riverside. And King Empire, they made that one good play around the lane. If they keep playing the lanes, Toda won't be able to fight back. So King Empire, they need to understand this. As long as we attack the lanes, we have a massive advantage.
Yeah, and as of now, the Lord getting juggled in between Susujin as well as Gary. They can't really decide what they want to do. Peter has been showing himself so many times down bottom, and Toda, they're just not budging away from this Lord fight.
I mean, considering that it's 30k to 26k, King Empire, they have a lot of time to work this if they want to set up for a checkmate angle, right? ideally they get that Lord, get one inhibitor, create a 10k gold lead, and close this game out against Todak. That's the most ideal, but